Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Candy Colored Studio. I'm artist Katrina Berg. This is episode 232, and I'm here with the lovely Pam Baumeister. Welcome, Pam.
Thank you, Katrina. It's so good to finally be here. We've talked about this for what, years?
Oh my gosh, literally years. Pam and I have known each other since like what, 18? I think it's like
Yep,
2018.
I think
Oh,
so.
that's amazing. So, yeah, Pam has so much like goodness to share with you guys today. So, I'm so excited for her to be here. So, let's just jump into it. Pam, why don't you tell us a little background about yourself, your family, where you live, anything you want to share?
Okay. Yeah, I was born in Utah, but I say I'm from Maine because that's where I grew up. And so I had a really magical childhood in Maine, and that was amazing. I family of 9 kids. I'm one of 9 kids, so a big family. Always loved my solitude back then, and I still do now. And then I'm married, and I have 4 daughters. 2 of them still live with us, and I've been an artist since. Well, I've been an artist since a very young age, but actually selling my stuff for about 7-ish years. So
Yeah, that's
that's
awesome.
what I do. I didn't
Well,
Nobody knew I did art until 2016 is when I started to share my stuff. I was in corporate America. I worked as a marketer. I worked in lots of different jobs, communications, media, and marketing, and all of those things. And then my husband and I owned our own PR, media relations, and advertising boutique agency. I mean, we've done a lot of marketing stuff. So I know both of those. I know both of those worlds pretty well.
that's amazing. And it's so nice because it really helps when you're having kind of a later start as an artist. It already helps because you already know how you're not scared to try to do the marketing and the business side of things, right?
Yeah. And the business side of things is a lot easier than, I mean, like even marketing yourself, you have to, I mean, you're still going to a vulnerable place when you put your work out there. It's
Yeah.
still a very vulnerable place. So I'm not going to lie and say that it was always easy and always has
Sure.
been easy, but the marketing piece of it has always been something I already knew how to do it, and
Yes.
I already knew what I needed to do. It was the okay, working up the courage of like, okay, I'm going to put my work out there. And I still remember the nerves I got when I first put my first post up. I think I was on Instagram, and I was like, yeah, I'm putting my stuff up and it's up for sale. And come what may,
Yeah.
whoever likes my stuff, please like my stuff. That feeling.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Well, I love it. Well, tell us a little bit more about your creative journey so far.
So I said I started around 2016, but it was kind of earlier than that. Around 2013, I got a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, and I had to change a lot of things about myself, a lot of the ways that I ate and how I took care of myself. And it was really scary. I mean, and I was mad. I felt like my body had
Hmm.
betrayed me.
Hmm.
I had always been I always really tried to do good things for my body and take care of it and be healthy and everything. And then all of a sudden this happened, and I felt really unfair. But when you blame people or blame God or blame anybody, you disempower yourself. And so I think I learned through that experience not to blame anybody, to take full responsibility for everything that happens in my life. And ultimately, I wouldn't say most people would say that those kinds of diagnoses are a gift, but I think with this, and as far back as it is in my rearview mirror, I can say that that it was a gift for me, because it made me realize that life is so temporary and I needed to be doing something that really filled my soul. I love marketing and I loved working, and helping people market. But it wasn't really like my soul work. It wasn't my dream job, honestly. So I just decided, you know what I'm going to be doing? I want to eventually just do art and share with other artists and help other artists succeed, and maybe help them overcome the hurdles that I've overcome. So that's mainly the reason why I started, was because of that diagnosis, because I realized life is short. Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know where I'm going to be in at the time. I was like, I don't know where I'm going to be in 10 years. That was 10 years ago. Um, So yeah, that's kind of how I got started. And really, it started with people asking me to paint for them.
Yes.
A lot of
Yes.
people were asking me, "Can you paint this? Can you paint that?" And I
Yeah.
was so nervous about my work and about my skill level that I was just like, I don't think I know. I don't think I'm good enough for that. But then I heard a teacher say, and I took a lot of business courses. I took a ton of business courses of like entrepreneurship, business, B school. I did that. I did a whole bunch of other, online courses. And one of the teachers I heard say, if someone has offered to buy your work, you're good enough.
Yeah.
And that was really
Yeah.
the key for me. And when I heard that teacher say that, I thought, okay, even though I don't really feel like I'm good enough, if other people think I'm good enough,
Mhm.
then that's enough, and I need to go on that. And so
Yep.
that's kind of how I started, and I did a lot of commissions from that point forward. And so I've been taking commissions since 20. I think it was really my first one was probably 2014 when I took my first commission. So it's been
That's so
almost 9
awesome.
years.
Yeah, and I love it too because so many of us can connect with this desire to do something more with what we've been given, right? We all have
Mhm.
challenges and we can either take them and make our life better and listen when God is like knocking, saying, okay, maybe you don't love just doing marketing, but why don't you take those skills and use it in a different way? And I'm just going to kind of help you and invite you to do something different and look at what a great experience that it's been for you. And I think it's very empowering for all of us to realize that, there are challenges in life, but we could either sit here and complain and be upset about it, or we could be like Pam and change our lives and serve others. And I just think that that's such a gift that you're giving to everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a interesting journey. As I think you could probably say the same thing. It's not always smooth sailing, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's a
Yeah.
lot of bumps in the road and a lot of tough learning experiences.
Totally. It's
It's
so
it's
true.
it's not always simple. I thought I was going to suddenly be discovered and I was going to quit my full-time job and just do art, and it didn't happen like that. It was
Right.
like I worked full-time and fit art into the cracks of my life and built my website and slowly built my audience, and I
Yeah.
and I went, okay, I think I'm ready to go part-time. So then I went part-time, and then and then COVID hit, and then once COVID was going on, I was like, you know what, I think I might be ready. I think I might
Yeah.
be ready. And
Yeah.
so then I left in 2020. I left corporate America in 2020, and I'm glad. I'm so glad I'm
Oh,
not there anymore.
I love that. There's so many good things that have come out of COVID. And I think a lot of it was just many of us were already on the path to making very intentional choices. And it really just gave us a big opportunity to say, I've always wanted to do this. I've kind of had my foot partway in the door. I'm just opening that door. And congratulations and well done for doing that and having the courage to take it and just do it. So that's
Thank
awesome,
you.
Pam. So there's so many people like you that decide later on that they really love art. What kind of advice would you give to people just like you? Like, would you say, go ahead and stop what you're doing, go back to school, take a workshop? There's online courses. I mean, obviously you did B school. That was such an amazing opportunity for you. I think
Mhm.
that's when we met, right after, like kind of towards the end of your B school experience. So yeah, give us some suggestions for anyone out there that whether they themselves or they know someone in their life that has these questions, like I would love to do something different, but where do I start?
Um, honestly, I don't know that it's for me. I never even graduated from college. I didn't get a degree. And I actually did consider going back to school, and I made it a matter of prayer. I really thought about it. I even started my application process. And I mean, I have lots of credits. I went to BYU, and I also went to the U, and I was applying to go to the U and do their art program, and I was just in the middle of that process, and I was so stressed out. And I I just thought, and I was talking to my mom actually, and she said, Pammy, you already know so much of this stuff. Why are you going to go through that
Yeah.
process?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the case for everybody, but for me, I had been taking a lot of online courses for business, but also I'd been taking courses in person to learn, better painting techniques and how to better use my medium and perspective and drawing, and I still take courses. I mean, I took a year's worth of drawing the figure and drawing the head and drawing, I think anybody that wants to do it needs to take a real close look and a self-evaluation of where they are
Yeah.
and be real honest with themselves. I mean, be honest with yourself. Do you feel like you know enough about running your own, because you're a small business owner? That's what you are.
Yep.
You're a solopreneur.
Yep.
And do you know enough about how to do that? Do you know about enough about business? Well, if you don't, then you probably need to learn about it, because I think a
Right.
lot of artists feel like they only want to focus on the art.
Yeah.
And I think that's a mistake, honestly, because
Mm.
unless you want to be a hobbyist, which is nothing wrong with being a hobbyist. Um, but if you want to make it a career change,
Mhm.
then you need to know what you're doing.
Right. Right.
Nobody would open up, a convenience store and not know what they're doing and not know how to run a business and not know how to do a profit and loss statement and not know how to use, accounting services and not know how to do invoices and not how to, all that financial stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that is really important. And it's of course important to continue to improve your craft, but
Absolutely.
I think people have this fantasy in their mind, and I think I had it too, of like, oh, if I become an artist, I'm going to just be painting all day long and the money will naturally come. But it doesn't work like that. It just
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
You have to have a plan and you have to work that plan, and then, you have to do everything. You're not just the artist, you're also the framer. You're also the person that labels the art. You're also the person that orders the prints. You're also the person who puts prints in acetate sleeves, I mean, you're the person
Yeah.
who sends out all the social media and writes all the emails and does all of that stuff
Yeah.
that has to happen in order for you to have any degree of success.
Totally. Oh, I love
So,
that. There's so many good things that you said. I think that one of the things that you're saying is you have options. There's lots of options. Number two, you should really take a hard look at yourself and your situation and what you feel deep down is best for you. Like you said, you took lots
mhm.
of classes, but does it matter that you have that final piece of paper? Is that what's going to make you an artist, or is it going to be excuse me, is it going to be the fact that you're like, I could improve with my head drawing. I could spend a year doing that. I could, take a look, take a hard look of where you are with your skills, with your business, with your marketing, and say, what are the places I need help with? Can I hire someone? Do I need to take a class? What can I do to really improve in this? And just realize, I think again, you have options. Like there isn't just one perfect way, and everybody's going to have different ways to get there. But don't give up, because just because you're not like the perfect marketer doesn't mean that you won't be someday, right?
Yeah, and with practice you do get better. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people think that they can hand off their marketing to somebody else and let
Yeah.
somebody else do all of it. And I personally think that's a mistake, because if your business has your name in it, then you are your business. And your business has to have your voice, your personality, who you are. People are drawn to your work because you're in it. You're in
Yeah.
your work. I mean, I look at the
Totally.
painting behind you and I'm like, Katrina's in that work. That's Katrina. Like that's her. Your soul is in your work. And so your soul needs to be in your marketing just as much as it needs to be in your art.
Yep.
People don't resonate. It's not as authentic, they
Yeah.
in marketing world, we use that authenticity. It really is true that if your voice is not in your marketing, then people recognize that.
Totally. I completely agree. It's interesting. I tried to have someone help me for a while, just help me with my Instagram, because I liked the way that she was doing it for, for another group. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I would have never said that. I can't keep doing this. Like I can't pass it off to someone. I need to do it myself." And it's funny how one post I realized, nope, it's not going to work.
Not gonna
And
happen.
it's not because I'm anal. But you're right. I want to be authentic because, like you say, it is your soul. It is like your essence is in everything, and you're speaking to your collectors. And so if you can't offer yourself, what are you offering?
Exactly. Well,
Right?
it's part of your brand, right? Like if
Totally.
we're going to go really deep, Mark, like this is part of your brand. You are your brand.
Yep.
The way you speak, the way you talk to people, the way that you paint, the way that you draw, the way that if you do, audio and video and stuff like that, it's you, right? Like it's
Yeah.
your voice. I think people crave that too,
Yeah.
especially after COVID. I mean, people crave human connection.
Totally.
And so you don't want to pass that off. Unfortunately, it could be unfortunately, but fortunately, right? You don't want to pass it off, because
Right.
if you pass it off, well, yeah, you'll have more time, but then you won't have this authentic voice. If you don't pass it off, you'll have less time, but you'll have an authentic voice. So I think it's honestly better to do it yourself
Uh-huh.
and have your authentic voice and learn how to manage your time better. That's
Exactly.
really true.
And there's sometimes in our life where we have to let certain things go. And you just say, when I show up, I'm really going to show up. And people will know that maybe you don't do things as often as you did, but they know that when you show up, it's you and it's going to be
Yeah.
completely real and you're there for them. Right. So good stuff. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So this kind of leads into this whole idea of, giving up to pursue our passions because we've all been given 24 hours a day. So what are some of the hard choices that you, Pam, have made to be able to pursue the things that you love?
Um, at the beginning of this year, I made some big changes, more big changes, and that was getting up way, way earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I, with MS and with any sort of autoimmune disease, sleep is a huge, huge deal,
Yes.
hugely important. And I did before I got, way before I got MS, I used to burn the midnight oil and try to get all my work done at night. And then I would be
Yeah.
really tired the next day. And,
Yeah.
um, so at the beginning of this year, well, years ago, I heard about this book, this guy who makes this book. It's called Miracle Morning. I don't know if you've heard of it,
No.
but I read that book and I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and do this. It's written by a guy named Hal Elrod. He has a whole plan. Like he has a million books, Miracle Morning for entrepreneurs, Miracle Morning for families, Miracle Morning for, millionaires. Anyway, and I've read all of like a lot of those books, and I have found, and I've been doing it since January, that waking up super early, taking care of myself. So I do. Um, he has you go through this thing called savers: silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. So writing. And so you do it every single morning, first thing in the morning. So I'll do meditation, prayer. Um, I do affirmations. I do visualization. I do some sort of form of exercise. I read my scriptures, and I sometimes read like an inspirational book, and then I write. And every single morning, and that is a huge sacrifice because I get up in the morning super early, whether I've gone to bed late or not, and I've been made that a bigger priority too, is getting to bed earlier. But sleep is makes such a difference, and waking up early makes such a difference.
That's
um
amazing. So I'm
it is
curious,
so amazing.
how long does it take to go through his, like, what did you call it again?
It's called savers.
Savers. How long does it take you typically to get through savers? So people have an idea.
So you can do it in as little as like 12 minutes
Oh,
if you
wow.
only spend like
Okay.
2 minutes on doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, exercise could be doing just jumping jacks or jogging
Right.
in place, or doing some push-ups, or squats or whatever.
Yeah, because I
Um,
think a lot of times when we hear about people's morning routines, you think it's going to take like 4 or 6 hours. And by the time you get to work, you're already tired, right?
yeah.
So I think that that's good. And I guess you could have saver days that are like quick saver days. And then
Yep.
maybe 2 days a week, you're like, I'm really going to invest in my saver Tuesday, Thursday. And I'm really going to
Yep.
give like a full hour and a half to this and just see how it affects the rest of your day and your
It
productivity and
it is
efficiency
it
and
so
mindset.
affects my day.
That's
Yeah.
so awesome. I'm
On the
totally going to
weekends, I
check it out.
You need to check it out. On
Yeah.
the weekends, I tend to spend a little bit more time because I don't have to get kids up for school, and I don't have to.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
everybody's kind of fend for yourself for breakfast that morning or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it makes a huge difference. In fact, the day after I just finished art at the park, and the day after art at the park, I was so exhausted. I think I slept for like 12 hours. I was so exhausted that the next day it kind of threw my system off because I woke up when everybody else woke up
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
waking up super early.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't get to do my savers until at night. And it was a
Oh,
huge, huge
yeah.
difference. I
Really
couldn't believe it.
affected
I was like,
you.
wow, it makes a big difference because it gets your mind right. It gets you in a good mood. It gets
Uh-huh.
you in a good place. You're filling your well first before
Uh-huh.
everybody else.
Right.
And it helps me just be a better person,
Yeah.
not just a better artist or a business owner, but a better person. I'm able
Yeah.
to like really get myself centered.
Oh, I
And,
love that.
you know, so
Oh,
it's
that's
really
so good.
been helpful.
Well, that's a great suggestion. I love that. Yeah, I similarly during COVID, I realized like I had some health issues I didn't know about. And so I was trying to get more sleep because I was just like you, burning the midnight oil for years and years with my art business. And I've had to give up some things, but it's been so much better to focus on getting proper sleep and just
Mhm.
realizing we've only got so much energy. But I'm totally going to check that out. Miracle Morning by Hal. What was his last name?
Elrod, Elrod.
Okay,
And he
cool.
has a podcast and
Nice.
he has the book and he's good. It's good. I've actually suggested it to so many people.
Hmm.
I'm accountability partners to at least 3 people
That's
to
awesome.
make sure they're doing it every day.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
I've seen dramatic results. He basically says you to become the person you want to become, you
Yeah.
have to make these changes.
Yeah.
You have to suddenly what kind of person would you be if were the best artist,
Uh-huh.
the best parent, the best spouse.
Yeah.
What would you need to change? Well, you
Right.
need to change a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh,
that
that's
was a
so
big
good.
deal.
Well, thank you.
So
That's a beautiful gift you've given to all of us today. So, obviously, you just finished art at the park, and I'm impressed that we're here already. It took me all week last week to recover from Swiss days, and here you are. So, obviously, the savers thing clearly works. So, tell us, like, you're done with art at the park, but now you're going to start working on your solo show. So, tell us all the details about that.
my solo show is at the Sprague Library in Sugarhouse. I don't know if you know where that is. I think it's just right. It's really in the heart of Sugarhouse.
Cool.
That old library that they redid has the beats out front. And that starts on October 28th. And I have a opening that night on the 28th. From 4:30 to 6:30, where you can come and meet me, and I'm going to be talking about my art. The piece behind me is going to be in that show, and the stuff I like to paint is nostalgia. So I like to paint anything that has to do with childhood or just memories. So many people came up to me at Art at the Park and were like, my brother had a car like that, or I had a car like that, or, like they have these memories, and it puts a smile on their face and it puts a smile on my face because there's always a story behind it. So I like to paint, toys and cars and people. And I have a painting that lots of people talked about at the show as well, and at the Art of the Park. And it was of my daughter and other kids in the swimming pool during pre-comp swimming. And so many parents were like, my daughter does, water polo, or my daughter
Yeah.
does swim team, or my son does swim team. And this is like such a good memory. And I'm like, yeah, it is, because you're sitting there by the side of the pool watching these kids swim back and forth, and
Yeah.
they're putting their all into it. Anyway, so that's the kind of stuff that you'll see there. I think I'm going to do a whole bunch of marbles, and I don't know if you played marbles when you were a kid, but I sure did. I was
That's
attracted to the colors.
yes. Okay, so do you have
Shiny
a
objects.
title? Do you have a title for your solo show? Is it something to do with memories or
Yeah,
nostalgia?
it's now I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Oh,
I'm gonna
you're
have to
fine.
remember.
It's okay. You could always message me later and I'll put it in the show notes so that people can look for it.
Okay, yeah. But it does have to do with nostalgia. It's
That's
all
so
about
cool.
nostalgia.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome. Well, I'm excited. So
yeah.
lots of marbles. You'll probably do some cars, more kids and fun like memories that a lot of us that can connect to like just activities we do with our family, vacations, all kinds of fun stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, that's awesome, Pam. Okay, so similarly, you do a lot of commissions, and that was your bread and butter, like in the get go. But it's your constant. So because you've
Mhm.
learned so much with commissions, you're going to be doing a course. So
Mhm.
give us a little more details about that.
Yeah, I'm excited about this course because I've been asked by many artists, like they've run into challenges or they've had difficulties with commissions, and they've come to me and be like, I know you do commissions, so what can you tell me? And so I'm like, why not help other artists who are maybe considering doing commissions, maybe who are not super crazy about commissions, or who want to do commissions. Maybe they're starting out. And I want to help them kind of figure out like all the stuff that I've learned over the
Yeah,
last, I guess it's been almost 10 years, but
yeah,
all the stuff I've learned over the years of like how to manage expectations, how to set a schedule, how to create the best communications with your collector, and how to keep the momentum going. Because
right.
honestly, if you continue to do commissions for people and they love you and they jive with you and they feel like you understand them, then they're going to keep coming back. And I have gotten so many collectors through that
Hmm.
system of
Yeah,
like doing it, kicking butt, making sure that they know exactly what to expect. And everyone's different. Like some people like check-ins, some people don't like check-ins, like
right.
during the process of like, this is where I am. And other people are like, I don't want to show them anything until it's done, which is totally fine. But I want to help artists understand that commissions can fill the gaps.
Yeah,
Like you could have a really great show or a really lousy show, and your commissions fill the money gaps for you. Because if you're not doing shows all the time, or you don't get into a show that you want to get into, or you don't get into a gallery, commissions fill those gaps. And guess what? Nobody takes a percentage of your commissions. You
uh-huh,
get 100% of that.
right.
And that I think a lot of artists kind of lean heavily on galleries or lean heavily on shows when honestly they have it in them to be the person that creates the income for themselves.
Totally.
And that's part of the reason why I'm like, people need to know this stuff. I talked to a couple people at Art at the Park and they're like, I hate commissions. I hate them. And I'm like, but you shouldn't hate them because they're awesome.
Right.
Like I
Yeah.
I charge way more money for my commissions because it's personal, it's personalized, it's custom. I mean, you would pay more money for a custom made, dress or a
Yes.
custom made suit for a man than you would something off the rack.
Yep.
So why wouldn't you want to tap into that market? So that's
Totally.
part of what I'm doing. It's a 4-week course. It'll be live video calls, and I'm only opening up to certain number of artists because kind of this is my maiden voyage, right, of my commission course. So I'm going to open it up to a certain number of artists. It's going to be 4 video calls, and then I'm going to throw in a Q&A at the end. I'll
Okay.
open it up on September 21st is when I open up sales for the commission course. And if anybody is interested in doing commissions or feels like they could get better at commissions or have never done commissions, this is a perfect course for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, that's so good. So you've got the commission thing coming up, but then you also run an accountability mastermind. And is that something that anyone can sign up for any time of the year? Or I guess tell us more about that.
So I do it on a monthly basis. But you can sign up anytime.
Okay.
What it is it's a Marco Polo sharecast. And if you're not familiar with Marco Polo is an app that has no ads and no algorithm, and they don't sell your information. This
Right.
is part of the reason why I love it, is because it's a app where you get to talk face to face. So my accountability group is more about business than creativity.
Yeah.
It's more about making sure that your mind is right, making sure that you're doing marketing things, making sure that you're keeping track of your stats, and making sure that you're actually doing stuff that's going to make a difference to your bottom line, your money line. Anyone can join. Any artist can join. I would suggest that artists who are trying to make money and trying to make this business work are the perfect people to join this group. I do daily, like 2-minute video video recordings that they can watch, and they don't have to filter through a bunch of other people talking. They can fast forward or they can skip it or whatever, and then they can record a video recording back to me or just react. And they fit it into their schedule. This is the other thing that's awesome. Katrina, as a busy mom, as an artist, your time is very valuable and you don't have a lot of time. I can't see you anymore. Oh, there you are. You don't have a lot of time to do like a million things. You don't have time to sit through, an hour long session every single day. This is just like a little note, a little like 2.5 to 3 to 4 minutes of me telling them, like, here's your tip for the day. This is your action step for today. And it's easy to fit into your life. So that's what it is. And then they can record little 30-second, replies to me if they have questions. They can record more if they want. They could record another 30 seconds and nobody else sees those. So
Right.
it's not super interactive. What I want to do eventually is to put artists into pods and have them create their own masterminds where they run the show. But this is just me helping them with their daily marketing focus.
That's so great. So can you, or do you feel comfortable telling us pricing for either of these or both?
Yeah. The course is going to be 197 for 4 weeks.
Okay.
And the mastermind is $15 a month, $14.95 a month.
Awesome.
And they can
That's so
cancel
good.
anytime or join anytime. And it's really catered to whoever's in the group
Mhm.
and whatever they need at the time. I try to get a lot of feedback and get people to tell me, like, what are you looking for? What kind of stuff can I help you with?
Sure.
And and that helps me. It helps me stay a little bit more nimble because it's a very flexible platform.
Yeah.
The commissions course, I've already done some surveying and I'll be doing some more surveying to anyone who's on my email list. And if they just Google Fruition Creative Learn, then they'll find my website and they can sign up for my emails and everything there. And then they'll get all
Yeah.
the information about the commissions course coming up.
Oh, that's awesome. So I loved your email, your recent email about the commission where the frame, the glass broke. Okay, that was so good. And what I loved about it is that you learned so much in that process, not just how to like be a better shipper or who to work with, when it comes to framing,
Hmm.
but you also in the process, like you talked about how like your skills this when you had to repaint, like this is what's so sad, maybe I should have you tell the
I
story, but
know.
when you had to repaint the painting, it was so much better the first time. Do you want to tell us anything about that, like just to give
Yeah.
them a little touch of what they could be learning from you with this whole commission course?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll recap the story a little bit more. So it was a huge commission. It was my very largest commission I've ever done. It was 40 by 40. Very big. And it was of a building in Paris that the woman and her family who commissioned me had stayed at, and they had a lot of really good memories there. It's actually the same building that the show Emily in Paris was filmed at.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
anyway, so they commissioned me to do this. I worked on it. It took me 40 hours to paint and got it framed and had the framer send it to the client. I asked them lots of questions to make sure that everything was safe. I trusted that they would take care of it. And it showed up shattered, like you said. Um, and my goal with my customers, and I think most people, is delight. I want to
Hmm.
delight my customers.
Right,
And I
right,
want them
right,
to feel like this was such an amazing experience working with Pam that I want to do it
right,
again.
right.
So I thought, how do I do that? How do I create that out of this really crappy situation? I mean, and I cried. Believe me, I
Oh
cried.
yeah,
But
oh
I
yeah.
decided I need to recreate it, and this time I'm going to recreate it. I'm going to put, and I put a lot into the first one, but I put even more into the second one, and asked questions of like, how can I make it better? And I ended up making a piece that I thought was like way better than the first one.
Mhm.
And then this time I rolled it up and stuck it into a very, very sturdy tube and mailed it to a framer that my customer she'd worked with in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about it, Katrina, is, and this is stuff that I will share in the course, is that I had managed expectations all along, and I had told her all along that I was an open book and I'm not hiding anything,
Right. Right.
and that I would pay the same amount of money towards the new framing as I did for the first
Right.
one.
Right.
And she was totally fine with it. In fact, I felt so horrible about that situation. It was just like a pit in my stomach that I told her, I said, I have no idea if you would, she sent me a picture of something, and I said, I have no idea if you would ever want to work with me again because of what happened. And she told me, and I don't remember if I wrote this in the blog, but she told me, she said, are you kidding me? She said, you were so good to work with that I will send all of my work to you because of the way that you created this, you made it better. You even, you did all these extra things. You repainted it. She said, she said, I will be coming to you for years. So that was pretty amazing. And I will probably do some sort of recording with her. And that's kind of how you keep the momentum going, like keep that conversation going. And anyway, I don't know if that answers your question. Oh, I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Okay, I still can't hear you. I'm typing you a note. Okay, her mic is gone. And I'll just share with you all the places that you can find me. So all my art stuff is on Instagram and online. My Instagram for my art is Pam_Baumeister. That's Baumeister. Pam_Baumeister. And you can find my art on pambaumeister.com. And then if you are interested in the course or interested in the Marco Polo accountability group, you can direct message me on Pam_Baumeister. That would be totally fine. Or you can go to Fruition Creative Learn. You can Google that online, Fruition Creative Learn. And that's my website for educating and helping other artists with their marketing. And that's the best place to find me. And that's a great place to connect with me and get on my email list so you don't miss when I open the course on September 21st. Thanks, Katrina. That was awesome. Sorry about your mic. She says that she loves you and she's thankful that you're tuning in to the CANDYcolored studio. See you later. Cool.